We recently came back from our 4th Carnival cruise, and although we had really enjoyed our Carnival cruise on board one of their newer ships just the year before, I wasn't sure what it would be like to sail with Carnival right now. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I think one of the most important things that you can do when you're planning a cruise is to make sure that you like the cruise ship and the itinerary. And truthfully, I wasn't sure, would we like Carnival Vista? Now, this was an 8-day Carnival cruise going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Carnival's Celebration Key, leaving from Port Canaveral. Now, I knew we liked the itinerary, but truthfully, I wasn't sure if we'd find Carnival Vista too dated. I wasn't sure what the activities and entertainment would be like, what the dining would be like, and of course, what the overall experience would be like and if we'd enjoy it. Now, the one thing that I will say is that many people told us how much they love Carnival Vista and this class of ship, so I was pretty curious to see for myself. Now, in this video, I'll share with you our experience, what we really liked, what we didn't like as much, and who I think this cruise ship is for. Now, before I get started, I wanted to mention 2 things. Firstly, we were invited by Carnival on a media sailing for this cruise, so we were visiting Carnival's Celebration Key. However, all opinions are my own. And secondly, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Embarkation day. Now, our cruise left from Port Canaveral, and I haven't been there in so many years. This port has really built up, but it was nice and easy. I would definitely do it again. Now, as we boarded Carnival Vista, the crew, like always, they're so happy and friendly, and there's music, and it was really just such a great vibe. Now, I was pretty anxious to look around and explore the cruise ship, but before we did that, we headed to our muster station to do our safety check-in. Now, when we headed to the top deck, we took a look at the pool before anybody was there yet. I have to say, this would be the least crowded that we'd ever see it for the rest of the trip. We also took a look at the activity area with the sky ride and the mini golf. We walked to the aft of the ship where you'll find Tide's pool, and I absolutely love the view from there. We checked out the water slides, which were of course a great family zone, and headed up for a quick peek of the adults only Serenity deck. Now, the Serenity deck is really nice, by the way, with nice chairs and loungers and 2 hot tubs. And this is a really nice place, by the way, on a Carnival ship. Of course, there's a lot of louder music by the main pool especially, and of course the water slides. So this adult only area is really perfect if you want something just a little bit quieter, a little bit more relaxing on a sea day. Now, I'll share with you the activities and the entertainment a little bit later in this video, but first, let's talk about the food and the first meal that we ate on board on Embarkation Day. Now, something that we've come to realize, this is our 4th Carnival cruise, is that the casual food on Carnival really is as good as they say. Now, we ended up with Blue Iguana. I think that might be one of my favorite restaurants on any cruise ship. It's casual, but really, it's pretty fresh and good. In fact, the tortillas are freshly made on board. Now, along with our burritos, we enjoyed Carnival's Fun Ship Special. This is a little tip for you if you're looking for the perfect Embarkation Day drink. Carnival really gets this right. And I did buy the keeper cup so that I could keep my drinks cold during the rest of the cruise. Now, we really did enjoy the casual food on board Carnival Vista. In fact, we enjoyed the food overall, so I'll give you a few places and examples of what we enjoyed. So Guy's Burger Joint, we ate there twice, I think, for the burgers, just because there was so much other food. We ate at the Carnival Deli. I had a really good tomato and mozzarella sandwich on focaccia, and I think Frank had a BLT and a hot dog another day. Now, one of the casual restaurants that is different on Carnival Vista, at least during the day, is that Gigi's Asian restaurant actually becomes a Mongolian wok during the day, and you can have a sit-down meal there and it's included. Now, while it's not the same menu that you'd have when you go to the specialty restaurant at nighttime, the menu was pretty nice and the food was quite good. Now, the Italian specialty restaurant, Cucina del Capitano, we loved it, by the way, in the evening time, but during the day, there's pasta available as well if you'd like a sit-down meal there. You also have Carnival's Pig and Anchor and the Lido Market Buffet. Now, if you watch some of my videos, you know that I don't like the buffet that much, and I certainly don't like to stand in line. So personally, I preferred all of the other options. Oh, and pizza, of course, was available as well. Unfortunately, when we went to have pizza, there wasn't any ready, and there was a little bit of a lineup, and we just didn't have a lot of time to wait. Continental breakfast room service. Now, one of the things that I really like doing on a cruise is having a light breakfast in our cabin. So we did this, I think, probably every single morning. We ordered a little light breakfast, and then I think it was probably 4 days out of the 8, we ended up going to the sea day brunch in the main dining room. The food was very good. There's a nice choice of different breakfast and light lunch options, and we really did enjoy both the atmosphere and service. Now, when it comes to the evening, both the main dining room and the specialty restaurants, this is something that actually surprised me even on my last Carnival cruise on Carnival Celebration, and on the Vista, I think it might have even been, it was certainly as good, if not maybe even a little bit better. But I think that Carnival is underrated when it comes to their main dining room and their specialty restaurant food. Now, we really enjoyed the main dining room. We had beef Wellington one night, which was absolutely delicious, and it rivals some of the premium cruise lines that we've sailed on. The one thing that I will say is that the presentation on Carnival, it's very nice, but it's sort of home style a little bit. So it's not fancy schmancy, but the taste of all of the different dishes we had, from the prime rib and beef Wellington to the eggplant parmesan, was excellent. And while I remember that the desserts overall were quite good, my absolute favorite is Carnival's warm chocolate melting cake. I'll actually leave the recipe right up on screen in case you do want to make it. It is so good, but my little extra tip for you is not only to order it with vanilla ice cream on the side, but also to ask for a little bit of peanut butter, and then it tastes like a frozen Reese's treat. Specialty restaurants. Now, all of them were good, but I'll tell you, my favorite, and maybe the one that surprised me, was Cucina del Capitano. Now, apparently they recently changed the menu there. I've eaten there before on Carnival Venezia and also on Carnival Celebration, although it's a little bit of a different concept. This does have an additional charge. The menu was so good. The burrata was excellent. The steak that Frank had was amazing. And we ended our meal off with the Mile High Gelato Pie. It was so decadent, so good. I'm dreaming of that cake right now. All right, in addition to the Italian restaurant, we also went to Gigi's Asian restaurant. This was so good, but the only thing was there was so much food, and oftentimes I feel like this when I go to an Asian restaurant, if it's served family style, I end up overeating. So while the taste was really good, if I had to just choose a couple of restaurants, I probably would choose the Italian and the next one, Fahrenheit 555. The steak and lobster, I think I had the surf and turf, was amazing. The shrimp were absolutely delicious. The whole meal was fantastic. It was also served with delicious appetizers and side dishes. And we ended off our meal, as if we didn't have enough to eat, with the most decadent dessert, the chocolate sphere. Now, there's a really nice sushi restaurant on board, but we didn't have a chance to try it this time. We did try it in the past on Carnival Venezia, really liked it, and I heard from other people that it was quite enjoyable. Now, one of the most special evenings is we did do the chef's table, and oh my goodness, is this ever a special experience? It really is entertainment, a whole evening activity beyond just the food or the dinner. So I definitely enjoyed it. Now, we actually had a little bit of a galley tour, and we got a demonstration of how the warm chocolate melting cake is made. Now, Chef's Table is definitely a foodie experience. The presentation is so artistic, and the food really was delicious, and in particular, the Wagyu beef. the cabin. We had a comfortable balcony cabin on deck 8. Now, I always think it's important to know what to expect. So this is the area of the cruise ship that I did feel that it was dated. This was the only part that I really felt was showing its age. And although the cabin was comfortable, this is the part that I liked a little bit less. Now, in particular, the color scheme of the cabin made it feel a little bit less luxurious than some other more modern cruise ships, including Carnival's newer ships. And the bathroom in particular, with its blue counters and its plastic shower curtain, was more functional than aesthetic. That being said, our bed was extremely comfortable. We really enjoyed that full-size sofa. I loved coming back to the towel animals that our cabin attendant left us. And I loved sitting out on our balcony, whether it was before dinner or especially in the morning with a cup of coffee. Now, a little tip, because this is an older cruise ship, it's a good idea to bring a non-surge protected power cube with USBs to charge your different devices. Now, I will leave my recommendation along with other cruise essentials down below in the description of this video in case that can be helpful. The activities and the entertainment. Now, during the day, there were so many different activities that were available, from trivia to a Build-A-Bear workshop to pool games and dancing inside and out. And of course, especially in sea days, there were port talks, shopping, and the casino that was always popular. On the top deck, we had an awesome time doing some activities and even just walking around the cruise ship. Now, I did want to share with you another area of the cruise ship, and this is the Havana deck. Now, when we were on board Carnival Celebration, we booked in the Havana area, and many people told me that one of the best things about Carnival Vista is the Havana sun deck, and we were able to visit there during our cruise. And I absolutely have to agree. The Havana area is just beautiful. And by the way, you can book different types of Havana cabins, from interior cabins to balconies and suites. And I think it would definitely be worth it. For this space, you have this absolutely gorgeous infinity style pool overlooking the wake and 2 really good sized hot tubs. Not to mention the Havana bar and lots of comfortable lounge chair seating. The evening entertainment. Now, I'm going to share with you what we did in the evening and some of the things that we liked best, but really there were so many different things to do. Now, firstly, we often started off our evening after dinner at the Alchemy bar, or sometimes we went before dinner, but usually after. Now, I would have an Aperol Spritz, absolutely loved it. The bartenders were fabulous at the Alchemy bar, and Frank would have the remedy. Now, in addition to that, we checked out a lot of the entertainment. This included Family Feud, which unfortunately, due to copyright, we were not able to film, but we also went to many of the shows, and one of the things that I really liked about them is the fact that they were really interactive with the audience, and the music and the dancing was a lot of fun and really good. Now, of course, there were also other audience participation games, including Love and Marriage and the comedy shows, which are always popular. Now, I'm so glad we went to this because we almost didn't. Carnival's deck parties. Now, there was an 80s deck party, and it was probably one of the best deck parties that I have seen on cruise ships in years. Carnival really knows how to throw a party. People of all ages were just having so much fun. The DJ was amazing. And of course, Carnival's cruise director and the whole activities staff, or the fun squad, were so high energy and lots of fun. The bars. Now, I know I spoke briefly about the Alchemy bar before, and of course, that was my absolute favorite bar, but there are a lot of bars on board Carnival Vista, and they're all pretty good. Now, there's the Blue Iguana bar, which is where we got our Fun Ship special. Still highly recommend. There's also Red Frog, of course. But in addition to the bars that are outside of the cruise ship, inside also really good bars. Now, the bar that is in the atrium, I really like the atmosphere there. In fact, on Captain's Night or the formal night, that was really nice. There was always entertainment that was there. Sometimes it was a duo or a trio that were playing. And something that I particularly liked about the atrium on Carnival Vista is that the vibe and the atmosphere always changed, not only because of the music, but also because of the central chandelier. Now this is really cool. I guess it's an LED light, but it was really so beautiful, and it was kind of nice to see how the atmosphere changed from one day when it had a Dr. Seuss theme during the day and a children's activity, to another day where it had flowers, to another day where it had the American flag, and it just always had a different decor. The coffee. Now, I did not have a beverage package, but we did pick up our coffee at Java Blue Cafe. It was very good, but just to let you know, just outside of Java Blue Cafe, there's a really nice place to sit that was almost always almost empty. So even if you pick up any food that you get elsewhere, but you want to sit outside where it's quiet and it's so beautiful, the decor, I would highly suggest going there. Now I'm going to talk about the service and crew in just a minute, as well as what was the demographic like of our ship, who was sailing with us, and who I think this cruise ship is for. But first, I did want to talk about some of the aspects that make this cruise ship kind of special and different. The IMAX theater. Now this is really cool because this is a real IMAX theater on board, and I thought it would be old movies that are playing, but no, they had some new releases as well. Now, if you're a beer lover, you'll be happy to know that there's actually beer that's brewed on board. Yes, Carnival Vista was the first cruise ship to actually have a brewery on board, and there's an actual brewmaster on board, and you can even take a tour. There are a ton of activities for kids and teens. So of course, in addition to the kids club, you also have a great sports court, mini golf, a ropes course, and the sky ride. And while I mentioned the Havana Sun Deck, which is exclusive to people who have booked a Havana cabin, there is actually a Havana bar that has live entertaining, dancing, and beautiful seating. And Carnival Vista has one of the most beautiful piano bars that I have seen on a cruise ship. And if you're somebody who likes the piano bar scene, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So who was sailing with us, and what was sailing on Carnival like right now? Now, we sailed in the summertime, so we had quite a lot of families on board, but I was surprised. We actually had people of all ages. So we had everybody from families with young children to multi-generational families to a lot of adults and a lot of people that were cruising together as friends. And while I was ready for Carnival to be a party scene, it wasn't that it wasn't fun. It was actually a lot of fun, but it definitely wasn't the wild, out-of-hand party scene that you sometimes see on social media. Truthfully, it was a really good time. Now, before we talk about who this cruise ship is for and if I recommend it, let's talk about the crew and the service. Now, the service on board Carnival, I think, is really some of the absolute best at sea. Now, I have to say, the crew work very hard, but they are so friendly and so helpful, and we definitely experienced this everywhere from the main dining room to our cabin attendant, to the specialty restaurants, to guest services, to the fabulous bartenders, and even to crew members you pass in the hall who always said hello or good morning. And I know for people who cruise with Carnival again and again, they often say that the Carnival crew are one of the biggest reasons they keep coming back. Our ports. Now, this was an 8-day sailing, and we went to Bonaire, Aruba, and Carnival's new Celebration Key. Now, in Aruba, we did a snorkeling excursion. This was a lot of fun. This was through the cruise line. We really did enjoy this. This included a lunch on the boat as well as snorkeling. Now, in Bonaire, we did something that we've never done before. We did an excursion at the end of the day. So that meant that during the peak hours of the day, we could walk around and explore on our own. And we absolutely loved walking around the market as well as getting some really good gelato. It was so good. Now, I particularly like Bonaire and the Dutch Caribbean charm, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind going there again. Now, in terms of the excursion that we did, and this was booked with Carnival, we did a sunset catamaran cruise. This was so nice. I didn't know what to expect, but it was absolutely beautiful. We had a wonderful tour where we could see not only Bonaire, but also Klein Bonaire. And we had a little bit of a surprise as the sun was setting. Our captain brought us over to Klein Bonaire, where we were able to get off the boat. We had to jump right into the water, so that's the only thing, just a little foot of water. But it was so worth it, so absolutely beautiful. We were all there on this secluded beach, as the sun was setting. Now, Carnival Celebration Key was absolutely beautiful. I could not believe how large Celebration Key is, and we ended up spending the day over at Pearl Cove as well as exploring. Now, I am going to leave a video right after this one all about Celebration Key, so if you are heading there, you'll be able to see that, and I'll leave a playlist of other Carnival videos as well in case that can be helpful. And who do I think this cruise ship is for? Well, I think firstly, families are going to feel very welcome on this cruise ship, but I do think really people of any age. I would say that this is a fun ship. So for people who enjoy that fun ship atmosphere, a little bit of dancing by the pool, a little bit of music, a lively atmosphere overall, I think that you will enjoy it. And I think it's a great cruise ship for anybody who's looking for a fantastic value vacation. I think when you look at what is included with the Carnival cruise, and in terms of the quality of the entertainment and the quality of the food for the price, I definitely think that this is a cruise to consider. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know any of the questions that you may have, but also let me know about any of your recent Carnival cruise experiences. And if you sailed on Carnival Vista, please do share your thoughts and any tips down in the comments below, because I know that will be helpful to others. Now, I'll leave those Carnival videos right after this. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.